Whoa, we just made it. Whew, that was the
That was a
fastest
close
cup
one.
of tea. Yeah, I
Close
just
one.
dipped that in the bud. Obviously, we started at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. So it what was it, 6:57? I made the wise decision, and wise is a stretch. Oh, I need to get a cup of tea. I'm out of tea. I'll be back. That's plenty of time. I can read a book, glance through a magazine, eat lunch in 3 minutes. So I come back, and the computer's making me a liar. 7 o'clock, you can start the show. And today, Friday wrap up, we better get to it because don't you know, Kelvin, Tish will say, why are you taking so long? That was over 10 minutes. So on Friday wrap up of the Geyer Cook Report, we have the show notes available to you at thegeyercookreport.podbean.com. That graphic, thank you for that, Kelvin, gives you the link where you can get the show notes. It's actually an archive of all the shows that we've done at Podbean. They've got a setup there where we can encapsulate. We can embed the audio there, and so the show notes are there and it has the audio too. The GeyerCookReport.podbean.com makes that happen. Last Monday, we talked about refreshing the routine, and part of the routine may or may not include new ways to use your social media and how to have posts in that social media. So the to-dos on Monday were a list of 6 things that you could include in your social media efforts, and they're in the show notes. I'm not going to read them to you now. Memes and quotes and curated content and so forth. Give that a go, and you could refresh your routine too. In fact, I think we refreshed the routine every day this week in some way or another. And then the show notes,
we found a way every day to do something different.
Right. And so go in there and give that, that time that you allocate for, I'm going to go watch something on TechCrunch or what. Give your brand a little support and refresh your routine and help your company out. Tuesday, we talked about 3 things in SEO. And the SEO tips Tuesday, if you've got a WordPress site, WordPress SEO by Yoast is got to do it. I mean, it's really the 23 jewel stem winding wonder that you'd want to plug in or an extension for WordPress to be. It does that. The part of the adventure for Yoast that I implored people to do, ask them to allow their tracking. In the general tab, you'll say, do you want to allow tracking of the WordPress installs? And what that does is helps him make a better product. And you're getting it for free. So it's a win-win, right? Give that a go. The second thing was to set up Google Analytics and Google Search Console, what used to be called Google Webmaster Tools for your domain. If you can't track the access of your site, find out where the broken links are on your site, find out what the search terms are for your site, it's not going to perform well. And if it doesn't perform well, you don't make that money. Hey, speaking of money, we'd like to have some podcaster patrons, and there's a link for that in the show notes. Anyway, the other thing about Search Console and Google is we've also got a link in there for an article from Tony Edward, who simply titled it, Why SEOs Should Not Ignore Bing Webmaster Tools. Now, most of us use Google Search Console, and many SEOs ignore Bing Webmaster Tools, don't even use it. But Tony Edwards is trying to argue that you shouldn't overlook Bing Webmaster Tools. Don't use it instead of, but complement your data gathering with Bing Webmaster Tools. And I agree, and I've set my sites up that way too. Wednesday, and what's on your mind? And we continued with the refreshing the routine calendar. The Chloe Social, this young lady took the time to make a 30-day social media content calendar. And I thought, bigger is better, but this is too big. It's too much. So we broke it apart into weekly chunks. So for the events you want to do on Monday, the events you want to do on Tuesday, the events you want to do on Wednesday, we've got those files created. And if you go in the show notes down at the bottom, now this is a secret that you're going to get the benefit of from listening and looking here on YouTube. It'll say that PDF. Click on the words that PDF and you'll get that day's episode's social media tips from Chloe Social. What a clever idea, eh? So complement your efforts, refreshing the routine with it, and while you're refreshing the routine, pat yourself on the back, because many people aren't doing that. They're doing the same old thing every day. And they're going to burn out eventually. So congratulations on that. B2B Thursday, we revisited a show that we first did on June the 2nd. And the reason we revisited it has to do with the Queen of everything. A little shout out for the Queen, right? Not the Queen of England. We don't want to get the Queens mixed up. But the Queen at my house was cleaning out her office. And because we've taken to sharing one single printer, saving toner, she says, "What's this? The Geyer Cook Report. This is yours." And so I looked at it. I went, "Oh, that was a good show. We did a thing about setting up goals in Google Analytics. But you know what? We didn't really say, how do you do it? How do you go about setting up goals?" And so I searched and did research, found an excellent video on YouTube. And the link is in the show notes. Give that a go. And if you go to the GeyerCookReport.podbean.com, like we said earlier, there's the reminder, you'll get the show notes right there. And so that's the Friday wrap up. We'll have it in our newsletter. There's also a link in the show notes to subscribe to our newsletter. I encourage you to do that. And basically, you'll get one newsletter a week that'll have the links for each day's events. If you missed the show on Tuesday for SEO tips, oh, what was that about? I want to click on that PDF and get those tips. There you have it. So, did I forget anything?
World Photography Day.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Earlier this morning, we were talking in Fire Talk at Friends Just Chatting. Great group of people. And because Kelvin is a photographer, and he's also the CEO, president of the big, huge multi-tower corporation that runs Friends Just Chatting. Big outfit. And, you know, he works on the same payroll as Stephen Hawking, just saying. Anyway, the Friends Just Chatting, we talked about the fact that today is World Photography Day. And Kelvin, being a photographer who has probably a couple of gigs of photography stored up, I said, "Kelvin, shouldn't we have a picture for World Photography Day?" He goes, "Oh, I'll go and look one up." So the big surprise, the unveil, is now. Here it comes. There you have it. In honor of World Photography Day, there's the image.
That's from 1861, and it's
Yes.
the world's first color photograph by Maxwell Clark.
Oh, wow, Maxwell Clark. I know that name.
Clark
Great
Maxwell.
inventor. Yeah, the pride of the UK, for sure. Well, actually, he's from Scotland, I believe. Wasn't he? Or was he
Yeah,
from...
he was Scottish, yes.
Yeah.
But that is part of the UK still. So
Okay. Yeah, there's, despite the efforts of Fraser Ramsey at Edinburgh Dusters, the company that likes to clean, he'd also like to be in the separate Scotland. Anyway, there you have it. There's the photography effort for today's photography world. Shout outs to, thank you, Fraser Ramsey at Edinburgh Dusters, to Eileen Smith at Basic Blog Tips, and follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and to keep us under 10 minutes, or I'm cutting it close, thank you to everyone that joined us in chat today, and at the end of the show, like I always do, it's a wrap. And then I turn my head and wrap it with